time to survive. Every screen tells me who to be, selling shame like currency. Try to lock me in a narrow frame, but I don't burn by borrowed flame. Feet on the ground, chest held high. I hear the noise, I hear the lies. Push me back, I push through. I don't need permission to be true. They don't get to tell me who I am. I stand my ground, I make my stand. No shame, no fear, I draw the line. This is my voice, this life is mine. I am, I am, I am. No shame, no fear, I draw the line. Labels fly like open fire. Every word just feeds the pyre. Pick a side, stay in your lane. Smile quiet, hide the pain. But I was built from sweat and will, from broken nights and standing still. I won't bow to every trend. I know where I start, I know where I end. Feet on the ground, chest held high. I hear the noise, I hear the lies. Push me back, I push through. I don't need permission to be true. They don't get to tell me who I am. I stand my ground, I make my stand. No shame, no fear, I draw the line. This is my voice, this life is mine. I am, I am, I am. No shame, no fear, I draw the line. I am not your headline, I am not your trend. I define the man I am from beginning to end. This life is They don't get to tell me who I am. I stand my ground, I make my stand. No shame, no fear, I draw the line. This is my voice, this life is mine.
All right, let's try this again, shall we? See if we can get through this conversation, and then we'll probably wrap it up because we don't want to drop it again because that's obnoxious. I really hope I can figure this out. I don't know if I'm going to have to get better internet or what. I don't know if I can afford that, so we'll see. But welcome back, Rubber Ducky. Appreciate you coming back in. TNT, thank you very much for rejoining the stream, guys. Homestead Wench, you guys are my OG for sure. Without you guys, probably wouldn't be here at this point. And of course, the people that are in the Discord chat waiting for me to hop back in, appreciate them being there. It looks like Barn Diesel's in there this time as well. So hopefully they're all ready for me to be in there with them. And we'll go ahead and hop over to that.
And from on my behalf over here, my
Tater is
Hey
back.
guys. All right. So, do we remember where we were? Let me get over to that screen. Okay, we're ready. Do we remember where we were?
yeah.
Okay.
So we were on the presidential fitness stuff being ended by Michelle Obama, and we were talking about mandatory fitness.
That's right. Okay. Go ahead and continue on if you'd like. Thank you very much for Real Rain for joining back in. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was saying before, though, with the, maybe adding the mandated fitness into like school curriculums, even from like ages, K through 12th grade, I think it should be. I just learned it not too long ago about apparently they don't have gym class in schools anymore due to like Michelle Obama's little BS that she had going on with all that. And you can totally see like a decline in not just like fitness in society, like with the amount of obese children. and obese just adults, period. But structure, even, you know, a lot of that stuff just builds structure too, I believe, and you don't see too much of that anymore.
Right. So with that being said, like you said, we have a bunch of obesity, and I mean we're one of the heaviest, you know, countries in the world, probably, I would say. So how do we get away from that?
Well, again,
Well,
it brings the, you know, go ahead, me.
it starts with habit and tradition of physical health. We have to start with the youth having a sense of purpose in their physical fitness and a sense of tradition in it. If we start in elementary school and work the physical fitness programs back into the systems, it's more likely to stick in adulthood.
Right.
Agreed.
So
big
I'd
thing
take it
that
a
would
different
be
route. I'd
helpful.
actually.
Oh, well,
Sorry, go ahead,
Kennedy
Kennedy.
said something.
I was just going to say, I think a big thing that would be really important is to teach children how to eat properly.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with this, was eating.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you have to
I think
teach
it's a
them.
combination.
Yeah, I think creating a better habit when it comes to eating is more important than creating the habit of fitness, because not that fitness isn't important. I just feel like with how accessible, like, easy food is, you can just go to McDonald's, get a value meal, whatever. I think it's more important to create the habit of eating well and knowing how to make good food for yourself at a young age.
right.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I mean, if you remember,
I
like back in gym class, they had the pyramid. You know, the what do you call that? The food pyramid. You know, with your dairy, your fish, and whatever else.
right, but that one was way carb heavy. I mean,
Right.
it said 9 to 12 servings of bread.
What's
Yeah, I'm
funny-
just using that as an example.
What's
of course,
funny-
like there's more.
What's funny about that is the fact that back in the day, they actually would fatten cows by basically using the food pyramid. That's how they fatten cows.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like using something like that, not that pyramid.
No,
per
no,
se, but
I
I'm sure
get
there's
what you're
more
saying. Yeah.
science and
I
research
mean,
out there.
the current Food and Health Administration run by Kennedy has a new program.
Jeez,
that is
Kennedy.
mainly-
I'm sorry.
that is mainly centered on vegetables and heavy proteins and fats.
Right.
Like, it is actually a good nutritional system. I think like Kennedy said, if we start that in schools, and I feel like the meme from El Dorado here fits, why not both? Why just
Right.
nutrition? Why
It goes
just
hand in
fitness?
hand.
Why not both?
Right.
To that
It goes
to that
hand in
point
hand.
though, it does go hand in hand. But to that point, especially if we're talking about implementing these in schools, I'm curious, what standard would you be aiming for? And this is easier to talk about in the terms of physical education, but are we talking about everyone should be able to perform X amount of pull-ups, X amount of push-ups, and as far as nutrition goes, everyone should be getting X amount of protein or whatever per day? Would there be a specific milestones that we're trying to hit?
Well, that's actually a good question. I think it would have to boil down to like a matter of subjects. You know what I mean? Like you had track and field, you had weightlifting. You have to do something there, but whether it's like day or
He's not denying that there's something to do. He's asking, what is the standard of do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like the standard
Because you're just saying activities. Well, what is more important is, like, if all boys in X age group should be able to run a mile at X amount of time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then from there you can deviate based on if someone has any kind of medical parameters where they can't run, or people are
Definitely.
better at running.
Right. So, like TNT, so I don't know if I would agree with it per se, but TNT says they should do BMI tests on all kids, and the fat ones get salads. I hope that's okay to say on YouTube. But long story
Whether it is or
short,
not, it's been said.
right? Well, yeah, true. Anyway, I don't think it's really that big of a deal. I hope.
Right.
Anyway, so long story short, what would we? Where would the line be drawn to be? What is that? Because back in the day, the specs to be obese were not the same as they are now. Real quick before Apprentice, appreciate you joining back in. Gamer, appreciate you back into the chat. Rubber Ducky, appreciate you chatting. Let's see. TNT, almost any male can do 100 push-ups in 1 year or 2 if they really try. Even if they can't do one to start, barring morbidly obese and bad back. Real Rain says fitness is more than just what your body looks like. It is also what your body can do. Social media did destroy the fitness world. I completely agree with that one as well. But again, I'm pretty sure the obese line or requirements to be obese was different back when I was a kid than it is now. You have just a scant bit of overweight and you're obese. You know what I mean? So where does that line get drawn to be saying that the fat ones get salad?
Like you said, BMI tests, we can't say that,
Well, I don't know if BMI is really a good thing though, because I've seen some big cops. Like my dad was a big sheriff and he could run, right? So I don't know if BMI is really a good thing. I really do think it should be like a training thing.
Kind of what I'm
like, can you run a mile in under a certain amount of
Well,
time?
I can actually attest to the BMI thing.
Go ahead, Barn.
So like when I was in the military still, I'm 6'1", and when I was still in the military, I was almost 240 pounds. I was considered obese by the BMI standards of the military, but I ran the mile and a half, in good time. Like I had a, high score, not an excellent score, but almost excellent score in the running. I had excellent scores in the push-ups and sit-ups, even though I had to get BMI waivers every time, just because I held my weight differently.
Right.
I can tell you,
so
right?
BMI is not the full answer.
Right.
Right. And so
right. And I can tell you right now that I am probably considered morbidly obese in the weight to height category because I'm 6'4", 285 pounds, but I only have 18% body fat.
Right. So I actually just watched a video the other day, and I wish I would have saved it because I'm going through all the socials and I'm not finding it. But there was a dude that would be considered obese. I don't know what he would weigh, but it wasn't muscle, right? You could see that it jiggled, right? That there was some play in the weight that he was carrying. But the dude did a half flip circle, freaking round off, fucking jump rope thing, and there's no way I could do that. And I'm fit. I work for a living. That dude can do way more than I can do, and my BMI is a whole lot better than his is.
That doesn't mean his heart likes carrying that weight.
Well, that's true.
Right.
I'm not denying that one, but like Barn is saying, he was, according to the standards, was obese. It's like my one of my older sisters, she was big boned. You know what I mean? That skeletal structure was a good portion of it, or so that they say, or whatever you want to call it. But I have thick bone structure. I don't break bones very easily. It's a little more dense than some others are. So where, again, I understand that BMI does not play into that, but again, how do we go about scolding someone that's doing everything that they can, but still the BMI that's over the weight that it needs to be, and what they really need is actually more protein to be able to.
I wouldn't even say.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't even say it's a BMI thing. I would say if they're able to do the exercises, whatever the bar is considered, if that's 100 push-ups or whatever, if they can succeed in that, then what their BMI is kind of irrelevant, kind of like what Barn was saying. He was able to meet all of the standards. The BMI really doesn't matter all that much. But I would certainly say if you aren't able to meet the standards, a discussion needs to be had. But Indy, you were going to say something.
Indy?
Or
Maybe not.
not.
Was somebody else trying to say something?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. The BMI and these tests and everything that we can do with these things are generalities. They point you to a general sense of what health is.
Right.
See, that's what I was going to say before I muted, though. Like, are you and Barn the exception, to the rule type of deal? Because I'm sure, you guys aren't the majority of it. I would say that most people who are,
but that
exposed.
So it goes back to the mandating, right? So if they're the exception, they're still mandated. What do they do? How do they?
You can't bow down to everybody. You would have to do what what the majority census would be.
Sorry, I'm looking at the consensus right now for the 2023 report by the American Security Project. Found out that about 68% of active duty U.S. service members are classified as overweight or obese based on the BMI criteria of above or below 25. Anything above 25 is clinically overweight. Anything over 30 is obese.
Okay.
So we would actually be the non-exception.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that, Ducky. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, their standards are pretty archaic. They were archaic even when I was in, and I got out in 2018.
Right.
So, yeah, they're not getting any better. So.
Right. So Homestead Wench says BMI matters when you're 400 plus pounds. Yeah, that point in time, I definitely agree. BMI is going to matter, especially like B was saying earlier. Your heart can't handle that much weight. Your joints, your body is going to deteriorate from that weight. Yeah. Anything else on that? I guess.
I just think the focus should be more on the food then. Because, you're not going to have morbidly obese children if they're being taught how to eat properly.
Right. Yeah. So with that being said, what is his name? JFK, JR, what? The guy that's in
RFK?
RFK. Thank you very much, Kennedy. He's, what do we think on his policies? What are our thoughts on that?
I think it's a move in the right direction.
I really don't know his policies. I know a little bit about the, taking the chemicals out the food and using no seed oils is huge, vegetable oils and stuff. That stuff was originally designed for factory, for the tanks and stuff. And they just had an overabundance and said, well, we could just put it into food and deep fry our food with it or whatever the hell. A lot of I do know with the beef tallow is a good change. I know again the chemicals in the foods like the red 40, just this poisonous chemical, but hey, it makes your food look pretty. You know what I mean? I do like that. Other than that, though, I'm kind of out my element as far as what he is doing in the health industry.
That's fair. Yeah, I go ahead, Doug.
Oh, sorry.
I
was going to say, I think what he's doing is pretty good because he's trying to get out of the chemical castration of the American people right now. It's just like what Indy was saying. It's just a lot of it has to do with our food. And one of the phrases I like to say is let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. That's Hippocrates. So it's there's tons and tons of stuff. This isn't a newer age thing. We always have used food as the very beginning of basis because that's the foundation. You can't even start having a healthy way to work out without knowing your body, right?
Mm.
You have to be
I am
able
the
and
perfect
healthy.
example of this.
Sure.
I have a rare condition that is treated with the keto diet.
Mm.
Nice.
Before I ate the keto diet, it was out of control and unresponsive.
Right.
On the keto diet, it is barely present.
Mm. So with that,
So what you
all
eat is
being
important.
said, if we're behind RFK, I believe RFK Jr. Yeah, Real Rain, appreciate that.
I
If
put his new food pyramid in the chat.
gotcha. So if he's the one that we're behind, where does freedom end? Where does the
As far as-
companies? Where do the companies have to, like? Are they not free to do whatever the hell they want?
No company has ever.
Well, no,
been
like
free.
I think
Go ahead.
right. Well, like I think there's a way for them to be. I I wouldn't say free. Like I don't think that, especially if you're providing food, like something that is a necessity for life. I wouldn't consider you to be. I don't think you should be able to be free to do whatever you want to that food because it's essentially like you're allowing them the freedom to poison people. Like if that's the case, then why can't we, actually go and poison people if we just put it in food? Or why can't we go and,
Well, it's like
do
the
those kinds of
Barnes
things?
thing.
So like
You
I don't
can't
think that
sell
freedom thing.
unpasteurized milk, right? Isn't that like a huge thing for
Yeah.
you? They say it's poison, but you guys actually produce it. That's your main source.
Yeah. I drink it every single day. Like
Right.
I drink
Oh,
almost
it's
a
amazing
gallon of
stuff.
it a day. I'm totally healthy. Like,
It's crazy.
And
I
a lot
think
of
you're
that-
healthier because of it.
I would say I would completely agree with you. And it's monitored highly. Like it's totally sterile coming out. Like there's so many things, but they get this stigma, and then it goes against it. So I don't think there should be that freedom for food companies just to do what they want. I've been around the world when I was with the Navy and seeing even like even just comparing like McDonald's itself from here to Japan is such a head and shoulders difference just in the quality of food. So the companies can still do and sell everything that they have to do. They have to cut into their profits a little bit and not use these cheap garbage ingredients that just sit in your system and because our bodies can't process half of them, and they just sit and like weigh down on your body, they weigh down on your organs, they weigh down on everything, when you can use, like, it's still not the healthiest thing in the world. There's still too much sodium, it's still too much, of a lot of different things, but it is at least, cleaner for your body in comparison. So they can still do that.
Right. So again, it comes back to the we're supposed to be a free country, right? So where do the restrictions, if we start restricting foods, where do they end? Where do they stop saying that these genetically modified organisms are the way that we go and things like that?
Well, it'll go. What
I don't.
benefit?
What's that, Indy? You're breaking out
Can you hear me all right now?
a little bit. Yeah.
It would go to what's beneficial for society. If something is known to cause cancer or something is known to have a negative effect on the body, then take it out.
Well,
Yeah, but how many corporations, especially in the food industry, have personal responsibility for, the fact that, like, when you look at the food industry in the US, a big problem that America has is the indulgence and consumption of sugar.
Right.
And that's because we've let corporations in America run rampant and just put a bunch of stuff in their food that isn't good for you. And they've gotten us all addicted to sugar. So why would they at any point in time take any personal responsibility when their bottom line is doing really well? So I think they can't have that freedom because then they can't make these bad decisions.
Right. We can't hope to rule this with restrictions, because once you're an adult, the government really can't tell you what to do anymore.
And that's
All we can hope to really do is educate and hope that education steers our future generation in the right direction.
right.
Well,
So
the government can't tell you what to do after, adulthood, sure, but it's not just adults that are consuming food. There
Right.
has to be some accountability from corporations because children are consuming the food. And if we're going to complain about children being obese in America, maybe stop feeding them all this stuff that's going to make them obese.
Who's responsible for feeding those children?
Well, their
Right.
parents might be
Parents.
responsible, but what's en masse available? Stuff that's highly
Right.
processed. What's cheaper?
Right.
Stuff that's highly processed.
and in TNT
Mark-
says we're not restricting food, we're banning poisons. So what do we consider poisons? Because
Well, like
arsenic
Poison,
is a
early
poison, but it can be used for benefit.
but there's a
That's
lot to help. And I'm using again Red 40 as a perfect example. That's literally just to make your food look pretty. It's poisonous as hell, but it just makes your food look more pretty. You know what I mean?
right.
There's no benefit to it as far as
Right. But don't we have free will?
Well, yeah, but
You do.
you can't injure somebody intentionally. I mean, this, that you don't have the
Don't
free
don't
will
you have the free will to look at the ingredients and decide whether you're going to eat it or not?
Well, yeah, but it also has to be regulated at, you can't just sell
But
poison.
once we
to
start
people.
regulating that, what's to stop them from regulating everything else?
Because if it has a harmful,
According to who?
Who decides?
According to who?
you can just do the research on what again, using that Red 40 as an example, you could just do the research and see that it has a huge negative impact on the human body.
Research done by who? Research done
Well,
by
I
who?
Right,
think
brother.
what you mean to get at, Indy, is when it becomes a certain point where it's actually it's hurting the population. Like we can see the first time in American history where the generation is actually going to see less living time than the one before it. Maybe we should start regulating it for based off of health crises and things like that, because overall it's affecting our country as a whole, not just as like on the individual or personal level, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
But I think what Tater is getting at, he's being a devil's advocate, and he's
Correct.
saying,
No, I get
who do we
I get it.
trust? Who do we trust to regulate this stuff? Like our RFK right now, he's a good dude, and he really wants us to be as healthy as we can be. The next person might not be so smart.
Right. Yeah.
So if
At
we
what
trust
point
the
do you
government to
put labels
regulate
on
all our
everything?
foods,
Mhm.
well, at what point do they regulate everything we eat?
Everything.
Always?
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
I mean,
This
I
is
look at-
exactly what you're at.
I'm coming at it from a different perspective, right? Because where I live, there's different food regulations than what your country has, right? So I would argue that some of our food regulations are what makes some of our food healthier than that of the United States counterpart.
Right. But how many other regulations have been put into place because they saw that they were able to put those regulations into place and you fell in line? Again, this is devil's advocate. I don't think like this.
Ultimately, what I think the debate boils down to here is how much should be regulated by government versus the individual.
Exactly. So,
Because both
like
That's
can
why
be
you're supposed to
responsible.
have people in your government who represent you
that
and what
we
you
can actually
want.
trust, right? So that goes back
Right.
to what Apprentice is saying. He's obviously making fun of me, but you know what? Tater's right. Let's put the secret ingredients back in Coca-Cola. You have the freedom to read the label. How do we know if it's a secret ingredient, right? If it's not going to be on the label, how do we know? Because a lot of the ingredients that we read, we can't pronounce them. We don't know what the hell they are. And they say natural flavors or natural seasonings or whatever. What is natural? Because the natural that I've heard of is beaver back end glands and grasshopper groundings and things like that. That's what's natural. So how do we go about doing that? Because again, if we start allowing regulations and restrictions to happen, they see us falling in line and they start to, you give a mouse a crumb, you put a mask on your face for 2 weeks and it becomes 2 years, right? So it's a slippery slope, but I don't disagree with you guys. Again, devil's advocate, trying to keep a conversation going. Go ahead, Kennedy.
I guess it comes down to conditioning because, yeah, we all put the mask on and then it stayed on for 2 years, but that was because everybody had it ingrained in them that if they didn't do the thing, they were a bad person.
Correct.
But there were also outliers who were like, yeah, no, that doesn't work for me.
Right.
And they didn't do it.
Right. I was one of those.
You have to stop caring what the public think.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
think
like,
What was that, Indy?
I was just going to say, I think it's
Alright.
important for, there to be a standard. And I think that standard needs to be decided by the people, but also by science. And if, like, when we're talking about food, if, like, obviously, if it's something that's highly processed, that's not something that you should be, like, wanting
Right.
to indulge in my opinion.
Right. Well,
yeah, and like using like Fireball, for instance, in like was it 2014? Let me Google it so I don't get this wrong. In 2014, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey removed propylene glycol from its ingredients, which is freaking antifreeze. You know,
correct.
Wait, hang on. That's a scare tactic. You know what propylene glycol is also in? It's in your
Okay.
breathing asthma inhalers, all those breathing treatments you take that
Right.
helps you. It's not just some scary thing. This is what pisses me off when people go, "Oh yeah," they name a chemical and then you don't know anything about that chemical. Sometimes it is helpful.
Right.
It's like the people being scared by ivermectin because it is in horse piss.
Yeah, it's a
But guess
horse
what else
Correct.
it's in?
Or people-
It's also in a
Well,
lot
I
of
also use
medications.
propylene glycol to treat ketosis in cows. So
Right.
Or people being scared of
like it's saying here, you know, it's safe. The FDA deems it safe in limited quantities. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there is some benefits in things, but putting it into drinks and food that you could
So that's
overly
just it.
supplement.
So that's just it right there. You kind of nailed the nail on the head, because it's the fact that they can say, well, in small quantities, the poisons that are in Coca-Cola aren't poisonous. The poisons that are in foods aren't poisonous because you shouldn't be eating enough of it to be poisonous. So that's where, again, how do we regulate these things? Because, again, the freedoms of America and allow us to have the freedoms that we have to allow the companies some freedoms. I'm not saying that this is the freedoms that we should be allowing them, but if we stop allowing freedoms for the companies, they go outside of the United States, like we already have going on as it is, right? And again, I'm not arguing for poisons in our food. Trust me when I say that, because before I started on my political scene, I was all about the poisons in our food. So I'm just trying to keep a conversation going, get some different points of view in before we end the stream, that kind of idea. So any other questions, concerns, violent reactions? No? Okay. What do you got? No? All right. Fair enough. So that's pretty much all I had. The dinner's ready, so I should probably go eat. Because I'm a potato and I need to get some, starch back into my system, I guess, or something like that. So is there anybody on the panel that would like to shout anything out before we end? Apparently, Indy, I don't know.
Okay,
there you are.
You already gave me my shout outs. I just want to say thanks for having us on the panel again. Love this stuff.
I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you're liking it. I'm liking how it's turning out. I've had some really good turnouts on the views on my open panels. Like, I've had better views on them than I do on my live streams on Sundays. So I like that you guys are enjoying it. I like that the chat's enjoying it. I do want to make sure that everybody's being entertained. right? If we're not entertaining you, please tell me so that I can try to change the direction of the conversation or something like that so that it's actually entertaining for everyone. Ducky, you were just about to say something before I interrupted you. Did you have something?
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, man. Barn, you've got a channel. Do you want to shout that out, brother?
I mean, I guess it's basically just like a, I don't know, I kind of use it just as like a video diary for my kids in the future, but it is essentially just like a farm vlog for me. If you guys want to check it out, feel free. It's mostly things that break that I have to fix, or, you know, if you go back far enough, it's me driving tractor, doing stuff with my cows, various things like that. So if you
And
want to check it out, feel
You
free.
guys
I
should
appreciate
definitely
everybody that
check
comes
it
by.
out.
yeah,
I
please.
love watching it in the morning and just watching all of his videos. It's great. It's just like it's a really nice, just sit down and relax video.
Yeah, please check it out. If it's just diary thing, that's cool. But yeah, how do we find you, Barn? What's your channel name?
It's Barn Diesel, just like this. I know it might
Okay.
sound like I'm a mechanic. I do some of my own mechanics, but I'm not. I got this name because I am a farmer. I talk about family all the time. I'm a decently husky guy. And so my buddy just kept telling me I was like farm Vin Diesel. So he just started calling me Barn Diesel, and it kind of stuck.
Nice.
So
That makes some more sense now. I just, as a farmer, I appreciate you. If without farms, we would have no food. So, again, the people that are watching, if you're watching this after the fact, please go check him out. I don't care what he says. Let's get him some monetization and get him some money, because they need it.
I dropped your link to our mods in the chat, bud. So they'll put it in the stream from now on.
Yeah, if anybody would
great.
go ahead and drop that in the live chat currently, if somebody can, that'd be cool. Anybody else want anything to shout out?
No, follow Potato Man. It's a good channel. Like he said earlier, we're a cool community. It's actually a really cool community on Discord, and a lot of help. If they can help, man, they help out, whether it's like computer problems or, whatever it may be. It's a tight community that,
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the community that I've worked so hard to get a vision of. You guys are the ones that have put it together, but together we've built quite the community, and I for one freaking love it. It's the best thing that's probably happened to me. Other than that, was there anything else that you guys wanted to go through before I bail out and leave you to your dealings?
No, just thank you again for having me up and shouting me out. I really appreciate it. I love the Discord, and I've been having a great time with you guys.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, and I appreciate you saying that for everybody to hear. Anything from you, Elric or Kennedy? You got anything? No?
Just want to say big thanks for having us. It's been great.
That was really good having you on.
Thank you for letting my womanness be here. My small woman brain.
You are welcome anytime. We need all of the different kinds of voices and perspectives. So I greatly appreciate you being here. Just me wasn't, so we needed the female side. So I appreciate you being here. Again, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you saying thanks for being here. I know that it's my platform, but you guys make it what it is. So again, thank you very much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and jump out. You guys do whatever you'd like to do, and I'll end my stream, and I'll probably jump back in or something like that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. All right. So let me get back to my main screen. Hey, TVT, welcome back, man. We're just ending up before my internet drops me again because it looks like it's trying to. I don't know what I'm going to do about this, guys. I need to figure something out. But long story short, as always, please like, subscribe, share. Let's see if I can get some more. I've got some decent subscribership going, and I really like that. If you're not part of the Discord, please join my Discord and be part of the community that we've built there. It's amazing. It's the most fun that some people have had in decades, probably. As far as everybody else, whatever you're doing, take care of yourselves. You mean more to me than I could probably ever tell you. I don't care where you come from, what your background is. You're all very important to the way of life that we have. So inside of the United States, please take care of yourselves. Remember your Second Amendment rights. Your response time will always be faster than that of the police. I want you to be around. Again and again and again, I will say that. For outside of the United States, I'm building quite the community of people that are outside of the United States, and I care about all of you. If I know you or I don't, I care about you. I want you to be around, so stop giving up your rights and start fighting for your right to party. And with that, I will leave you. Please, again, do best by people around you and yourself. And for now, the potato signing off. And of course, I'm not going to be able to find what I want to just as I'm signing off. So it's not like it's all cool like I usually do. Like, where's my song? Jeez. You guys are like, this guy. All right. I'm out of here. Have a good one, guys.
Neon signs flicker in the rain. Life's a highway, but it ain't one lane. Got a heart like a dashboard light, blinking steady through the endless night. Feel the weight, but don't let it sink you. Breathe it out like the smoke from the venue. Keep it together, keep it tight. Hold the line till the morning light. The storm might roll, the waves might shout, but things will work themselves out. Strangers pass like shadows in the haze. Every face is a story